Hi everyone, it's Vicky here from Crafty Heaven, and thank you very much for joining me today. And look how cute this card is. I am so chuffed with how this turned out. And this is a haunted house light up easel card, and the base of that house is all built from this die here, from the haunted house lantern die set from Simply Made Crafts. Now there is one bit of the house, I think it's the roof at the back, that was an extra, but the majority of the rest of the house was all from that die. And it is really easy to make, and we are going to be also making the light up bit as well. And this is what it looks like when it's stood up, and then you can write your message on the back, and you press the door and the light will turn on in the bottom window. And I absolutely love it. I was so chuffed when this, came out exactly how I wanted it to. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. So I really hope that you enjoy this video and enjoy making this project if you have this die. As always, links in the video description bar below as well. Enjoy the tutorial, guys, and take care. So we're using the Haunted House Lantern die set, and this is what it looks like. And look at that sample, how cute is that? Now Helen will more likely be doing a tutorial on showing you how to make the lantern or treat box. Now I have done my samples of the lantern, but I've not done a tutorial on that because I wanted to do a different tutorial using this die set. So here we have the die. This is the main die. This will be for your box. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And then you get all these different dies to decorate your house. So we've got the zigzag die and the scallop die to decorate your roof with. Then we've got different shaped windows and door. We've got the boo die here. We have this gorgeous gate die here, and obviously you'd cut that twice. And then we have the ghost, a cat, a tree, and yeah, absolutely love this die set. So there is going to be a couple more dies that I'm using from other sets as well, like this pumpkin die, and I'm sure there'll be different more dies as well, but I'll show you them as we go along. So we're going to start off by die cutting this out twice, and you'll need to cut one piece out of black cardstock, and the second piece is using the grey pattern paper out of the paper pack. And you will also need a bit of spare black cardstock just to add a few elements to the house. So like I said, die cut two of these out, which I've already done here. So as you can see, I've got my black cardstock and then I've got my grey patterned paper. So we're going to put this to the side for the moment. We're going to come to our black piece, and this is what is going to be the main base of the house. I have my sample to one side on roughly how I want to put it together, and if I can bring it in without destroying it, because I've not glued it down, so I have a rough idea of how I want this to go. So let's see. Ignore these tab sections here because they're not going to be a part of it. In fact, let's cut them off and then you'll be able to see what it will actually look like. And it's a wonky roof, so ignore that. So that will go behind here, and then we have another building behind that with a roof on there, and then this will go here and that will go there, and that's kind of roughly how I want it. And then these dies here that have the zigzag, these are going to be on the roof, so it will look like that. Okay, so they're going to be on the roof, and then obviously we'll have windows here, the door, then we've got like a picket fence, and so you can kind of see what it's going to be like. So that's what we are aiming for. And like I said, most of that is all out of this here. The only extra thing is one of the buildings that is set back. That's the bit that you'll need just a bit of extra black cardstock. So let's start trimming this up. So we actually need to just turn it this way. So these two rectangles you are going to keep as one piece, and we're going to cut off this flap here, this flap here, then we're going to cut off these two large sections here, but you're actually going to keep them because they're going to be a part of your roof. So this flap here, this flap here, and this one, you're actually just going to throw them away, and we're just going to keep these 5 sections here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cut them apart, and then we can carry on. So there we go. So that's what you should have. So we have the 2 larger flaps here for the roof, the 2 rectangle pieces, that's one big piece, and then we have the shape of what the house would have been if you use it as the treat box. But I actually want to trim the point off, so but we will do that later on. This one we're going to cut down, just down the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be covered up with that scallop edge die, so that will go on here. And so the back part of the house is what we need to have the extra piece of black card for. Cut them. You'll need one that measures 2 inches by 3.5, and another piece that measures 2.5 by 2. And like I said, they're just going to tuck behind there like that. What we need to do is we need to add the layering pieces. So you will cut these exactly the same as what you did with this. You'll just cut it ever so slightly smaller, just so it makes it a layering piece to go on the top. Okay, so I'm going to do that and then I'll come back. So that's what it looks like with the layer pieces on, and as you can see I've just cut them slightly smaller to be able to fit onto the black card. Now I don't dare move this because I've got it how I want it, and I just wanted to show you. So I haven't added any paper to these sections here because these are going to be covered up anyway with this die. Okay, and I wanted to show you that you see this score line in the middle here. Don't worry about that because that's going to be covered up. So I was thinking of having my tree over that, so it's hanging over the windows. And then we've got the picket fence that's in one of the other dies. I think it's the Tombstone gift bag die set that this comes with. And I'll probably end up cutting that in half because it's quite big. And obviously we need to keep this as a flat surface to be able to, when we stand it up, it needs to be flat. So I'll probably end up cutting that down. But I'll be popping these up so they're kind of like set back, and it gives it a 3D dimensional look. So that's the tree is going to go about here, and then the picket fence is going to go all the way across, so you can kind of see the house coming together. So what I want to do now is we need to glue all the pieces together to make our house. So I'll probably end up fast forwarding this bit, but let you still see me do it, and yeah, and then we can carry on. So there we go. So that's now put together, and it's looking a bit odd at the minute because obviously we've not added any of the decoration. But once we've covered up these sections here with this, then that will make it more of a haunted house. But now what we need to do is we need to die cut out the windows. So I'm going to have the circle one here, the oval one here, the windows that I want the lights to shine through. Now I'm just thinking which window I want the light shining through. In fact, I would like to have them shining through all the windows, to be fair. So yeah, let's do that. So, in fact, no, I'm not. Change my mind again. So I'm going to have window. No, I don't know. I might not be able to have the window there because once this is on there, it might be a bit more difficult. I don't know. So I think I'm just going to die cut 3 windows for the minute, and then I'm adding some vellum behind it, so when we put the bulb in, it's not going to be in your face, and it would just make it a nice subtle light. So I'm going to die cut those windows out, and then the door, and if we have another window here, I'll probably die cut that out separately and just stick it on top. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to die cut those windows out and I'll be back. So there we go. So for this one, you can see that it's cut it out completely. But once I've added the vellum behind there, I'm going to stick that on top. So then we get our window back. Okay. So I'm going to put that to one side so I don't lose it. So now what I want to do is I want to die cut this out, and obviously I'm going to have to make it shorter to be able to layer it up. So I'm going to die cut this out in black cardstock, and then I might just go around the edge with some metallic grey paint just to highlight it. So I'm going to cut this out a few times and then we can stick that to. So as you can see, I've got a bit carried away decorating. So I was only supposed to be doing the roof sections here, but never mind. But I've also added the vellum to the windows, and I've stuck that window back on, and I've just gone ahead and decorated it with the dies that come in this whole collection, and I've done some stamping and things like that. So here is my decorated haunted house, and I think it's turned out really nice, and you'd never know that it was actually made from the treat box die. So yeah, absolutely love it. So now we're going to make the lighting. So we're going to turn over to the back, and for this we need some copper tape, batteries and some bulbs for your light. Now I originally got all this off AliExpress, and I'll leave the links in the video description bar, but I'm sure that you could get these off Amazon or eBay. Shop around and have a look. So I got this lot off Amazon, but you can also, like I said, shop around, and I found the batteries in Morrison's as well, so you can get them from there. But just have a look around. As long as the batteries are the flat ones like this, then it'll be fine. So you'll need, well, you'll only need one of these, but I'm just showing you the size difference in these, and they both work fine. You'll need copper tape and also some bulbs, and I got these ones that have these metal sprig things on the end, and these are what are going to be on your copper tape. Okay, so first of all we need a piece of scrap card, and this is going to be for your battery to sit on, and this is going to be glued to it. So our tape is going to be underneath the battery as well as going over the top. So then when we have it on our house and you press the door, this is what's going to be pressing your battery when you press the door, if that makes sense. So yeah, you're going to need some scrap piece of card. Doesn't matter what size, as long as it's big enough for your battery to sit on, and also you need the flap to go over the top as well. I was originally thinking that I was going to do all the windows and light them up, but I've changed my mind and I'm only going to do the one window. So the window I'm going to do is this one here, because I thought it would look quite cool peeking through the tree. So that's where we're going to do it. And as you can see, I've changed the door. This is the door that coming the die set. I was going to do that originally, but then I thought it looked a bit lost in this space here, so I needed to fill this area, so I just cut out a door myself. So the battery's going to be behind the door, and this is what we're going to press to turn on our light. So I'm just going to place my finger and thumb on top of the door and behind it. So this is where we need to have our battery. So we're going to stick this down here. I'm actually just going to hot glue this in place just to make it, you know, this bit go a bit quicker. And place that there. That's about right. Okay. So now we need to add our copper tape. So like I said, the bulb is going to be from this, on this window here. So we need to get our tape. So we need to have a piece of tape coming from here. And then we also need it to come from this side over the flap, and then either go this way or we're going to go this way. So we're going to start off doing a straight line across here with our tape. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the backing off this. So we're going to have it going along here, and you want to be really careful with the tape because it can rip very easily, and go all the way across to about there. Okay, and then we need to do one from this side, fold it over that flap so it's coming over the top like that, and I'm going to go this way. So now we need to just curve this tape very carefully. So as you can see, I've snapped this, which is not a problem. Ideally I would have liked to have curved it, but that's fine. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it over the top of the other one, so then the circuit is joined back together. So I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to try and bend it. Let's see if I can do it this time. So I'm just going to just press it and try and not break it, and go this way. And we need to go as close to the other one as possible, because we're going to join the two metal end bits on our bulb, and they're going to sit on top of our copper tape. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So let me show you again. So we've gone from this one here to here, then this one over the flap, and brought it round to this one here. So then our bulb, these metal bits can be spreaded out like that, and they are going to touch our tape like that, and then when we press that, hopefully the bulb will turn on. So I'm actually going to stick this down with some copper tape over the top, just to you know, secure that in place. You could use double-sided tape, but I'm just going to use the copper tape just because I have it on hand. So I'm going to just cut some strips off, and I'm going to place it over the top. So there we go. So I've stuck that down with some copper tape over the top. Okay, and you also want to make sure that the metal bits on your bulb don't go past the tape, because otherwise it won't work. It needs to be within that tape. Okay, then we're going to get our bulb, and you want to have the plus sign facing down. So we're just going to place some double-sided tape on that, and we're going to stick that down over the top of the tape. And when you press that, your bulb will turn on. And let's have a look what it looks like. So you press the door, and there we go. How cute is that? So this piece needs to be added to our card base with foam tape, and the reason is because if you don't and you stick it down with some, you know, just some double-sided tape, it's going to be permanently on like that. Thinking the bottom of our house is going to be attached to our card base, but this bit we're going to see. So I'm wondering if I want to cover this bit up with some black card just to make it a bit more tidier. It does mean having to go around and just cutting the excess off, but I'm not too, you know, worried that I have to do that. And then this bit is going to be where the foam tape is. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. So as you can see, I've covered this bit up to make it look a lot nicer, and then I've added some foam tape to the back card base, and I've done mine already here just to save time. So we have got 2 pieces of black card. You're going to need one piece that measures 7 5/8 by 7, and along the 7 5/8 of an inch side you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Then your second piece is 7 by 7 1/4, and then you're going to need some white cardstock for your message to go on, and I've forgotten the measurement of this, and this is 6 7/8 by 7 1/8. So for our 2 card bases, we're going to attach these together, and I'm actually going to have this 1/2 inch section tucked behind this one, so then the white piece of card that's going to go on the back will cover that up. Okay, so I'm going to attach these 2 together. There we go. So that's the card base now done. Okay, but what we need to do is we need to fold over the front of our card base. So basically what we need to do, we need to fold this in half. Okay, so I'm going to fold this over and press that down, and I'm going to get my bone folder and give this a good burnish. Okay, because then that is going to stand up like that, and then our house will get attached onto there like so. Okay, so I'm going to now attach this piece to the back of the card. So that's now added. Okay, so now we need to stick our house on. So you'll see here I've made the card base slightly bigger, so it's got about 1/4 inch each side of the house. So I'm going to peel off the foam tape, and then we're going to stick it to that. Okay, so I've peeled off the backing. I've also gone around the edges of my foam tape with a black marker, just so then it ties in with the cardstock. So I'm going to actually add some hot glue behind my foam tape, so then hopefully that will stay in place. Okay, I'm going to have to sit down, and I'm going to line up the bottom with the edge of my card base and try and get that even, and I think that's okay, and then we can press it down. Okay, and then you just press the door. Oh, how cool is that? And as you can see, I've just written press if you dare, so then they know to press the door. So there we go. So then when you turn it over to the back, you can see that it's all nicely covered, and if you can look down there, you'll see the foam tape is black and it will blend in nicely. So now what we need to do is we need to decorate this bit here. So I've done this already just to save time, and I've got some cobwebs here that I've die cut out with the dies. I've got this tarantula spider here. I've got this happy Halloween sentiment. I've added some foam tape to the back because this is what's going to hold our house in place. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stick these down, and then I will be back. So there we go. Okay, and then obviously that will lay flat like so, and then you can put it in an envelope, and I'd probably say you'd, let me just measure it, because this will measure just over 7 inches by 7¼ So I'd probably say 7½ by 7½ inch envelope would be perfectly fine for this. But look how cute, and oh, I just love how this turned out. And then obviously when the person opens it, they can stand it up like that, and then the light will turn on. And how cool will that look in the dark? Very creepy. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and it's another way that you can make a project out of the haunted house treat box die, and links are in the video description bar below, and I'll also leave details for Helen's YouTube channels and Facebook pages and things like that, and go and check her out. And until next time guys, see you soon, bye.